Hello, this is Gamer Bhoy talking here. Welcome back to Classix Review Remastered, and today I'm going to go back and take a look at the original Road Rash for the Sega Mega Drive. Now, on my original Road Rash review, on the original Classix review episodes that I did not really go through the game as much as I would have liked to looking back on it now. Most of the review comprised of me talking on camera and complaining about Road Rash 3D, a Road Rash game that I would never have covered. So it was like 70% complaining about Road Rash 3D and 30% discussing Road Rash, the original game. So I thought it would be a better idea if I go back, redo the review of Road Rash, cover it more, explain more about it, talk more about it, and just give an honest opinion. I do love the original Road Rash, but let me back that statement up a little bit more proper. So this is the original Road Rash for the Sega Mega Drive here on Classix Review Remastered. Road Rash was developed by Electronic Arts in 1991, first for the Sega Mega Drive. It eventually made its way onto the Commodore Amiga, the Sega Master System, the 3DO, Sega Game Gear, Sega CD, PlayStation, Sega Saturn, Microsoft Windows PC, and the Game Boy and Game Boy Color. This spanned over 9 years of different ports of the game. The most memorable version though is the one on the aforementioned Sega Mega Drive. This is the one I'm going to be covering. Road Rash is known as a vehicular combat racing game, and its main objective comprises of winning motorbike races with the ability to hit your opponents and outrun the authorities as you make the winning attempt. In regards to originality, this game pretty much sets the standard for this kind of game, as there hasn't really been a game like it since. Upon entering the main menu, you are presented with a choice of 5 races to choose from, and you can play them in any order, so long as in order to progress to the next level, you must finish 3rd place or higher in each race. You play the same races within each level, with the difference being longer tracks, faster and more aggressive opponents the higher you go. When you enter a race, you may notice the game having a similar look to that of Sega's own Hang-On series, which is also a motorbike version of the Outrun series. So this game bears little in the way of innovation, except for the fact that you can attack your opponents and get chased by the police, and risk getting arrested or your bike getting destroyed or wrecked, as the game suggests. As well as punching and kicking, you can also wield a baton, which allows you to deal much more damage to your opponents. You cannot, however, attack cops, as any damage you try to deal will be just ignored, so they're pretty much invincible. You can outrun the police if you keep to the road without crashing your bike, as they will eventually disappear in the distance behind you. Should you crash though, you risk damaging your bike, and if there is a policeman nearby, you are automatically arrested and the race is over. Getting arrested also deducts money from your score. On the subject of money, you can earn cash, with your final position determining how much you earn at the end of a race. Money is used to buy a new bike. This is essential as you climb higher up the levels as your opponents become faster. Besides your opponents and the police, there are many other obstacles for you to be aware of as you play. At either side of the road, you will see various trees, plants, rocks and farm animals that act as danger points that you must avoid. Otherwise, if you make contact with any of said obstacles, you will potentially fly off of your bike, which will cause you to lose bike health. There are also street signs, poles and traffic which you must weave in and out of. The game also includes changes in the grade of the road. With this, you will find yourself driving up or downhill, and this can slow down or speed up your bike respectively, adding more challenge to the game compared to that of Hang-On, which plays on a flat horizontal plane that does not elevate.
Unlike Hang On though, there is a 2-player option. However, it takes the form of a turn-based system in which once player 1 finishes a race, you hand the controller to the player 2 and it works as some sort of indirect co-op mode as you play. This would be improved on with the release of Road Rash 2, which included head-to-head split-screen play, but that is an analysis for another time. Throughout your time playing the game, you will receive messages from other racers, either taunting you or complimenting you, but it is most likely the former. I believe it's all based on your actions during races. For example, if you hit a certain character during a race, he or she will express their distaste to you later in the game, but I could be wrong and it might all be random. I didn't take much time to analyse it. Being an Electronic Arts game on the Sega Mega Drive, the music is just as you would expect. Obnoxious, heavy, and a bit of a mess. But I see that as a charm of a Sega Mega Drive game developed by EA. I mean, if you've heard the music on one Sega Mega Drive game developed by EA, you've heard the music of all Sega Mega Drive games developed by EA. Just listen to this. However, Road Rash has actually a pretty decent soundtrack, and out of the original 3 Road Rash games that I own, I much prefer the music from the original one. Maybe I'm favouring it because this is the first one I bought and didn't buy Road Rash 2 and 3 until I was in my 20s. My favourite track in the game comes from the Pacific Coast level. I must have deliberately played this level 3 or 4 times in a row when I was a kid just to hear it. The sound you hear when you hit your opponent sounds really good. The game actually makes you feel the hits you're throwing. The impact sound effects are spot on, I think. If you come in first place, you can hear your biker chanting "yes" out loud as he fist pumps the air with 2 hands. And sometimes if you crash your bike, you can hear your biker wail in pain, which can be quite comedic at times. There are 2 sound options to choose from in the game settings menu. Music on or music off. Music on is self-explanatory, but if you turn the music off, you are left to hear the noise of the bikes themselves, which are cancer to the ears. Seriously, I have no idea what Electronic Arts were thinking when they were trying to include bike engine sounds to the game. How did they think this is what a bike sounded like in the slightest? I understand that the technology was limited back then, but come on. Super Monaco GP had incredibly realistic audio that actually made you think you were hearing a real Formula 1 car, and that game came out in 1989, 2 years prior to this. How are you supposed to put yourself in the moment and think that you can hear a motorcycle? I can't hear it, can you? In regards to graphics, the game takes on the look of a cartoonish nature, and the game sort of looks like you were put inside of a comic and told to race in it. That's how I see it anyway. Each track environment differs. There isn't much to look at except an animated road and a bland background that doesn't really move except when you're turning left or right. Overall, the game looks unique enough. The animations are pretty funny at times. The next time you fall off your bike, hold the A button and just look at yourself. Inclusive of everything I've covered here, I can safely say that this game still holds up even today. I still find myself pulling out the Sega Mega Drive just to play it. It's a very addictive and fun game, and is probably my favourite racing game on that console. Sadly though, it's a discontinued series and there only has really been 3 major installments. Once it made its jump to 3D, I don't think it had the same charm, but I still have the other 2 to cover, so I'll get to those in future. All in all, Road Rash is a great game and is very affordable today. And that does it for this review of Road Rash. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching this episode of Classix Review. This has been Gamerboy talking here on Gamerboy Gaming, where I play the games that you need to have. Thanks again for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and if you want to see more, subscribe to my channel. I don't force it on anyone, so I don't expect too much, but again, I have to say thanks very much for watching the video. So thanks again, and I'll see you on the next episode. Cheerio.